Hello, Algebra 2. We are almost there. We are going to learn a great tool for those, well, for everything. I think there's not much you can't do with matrices. So we are going to learn what a matrix is. So this first section, lesson 16.1, is mostly just about learning about matrices. We are talking about definition of terms for matrices, and the essential question is, do you know the terminology for matrices? So I'm going to list a couple matrices up here and talk about what they are. So there are a couple words that we need to know. The numbers in a matrix are called the elements of the matrix. Notice that all matrices are rows go this way. And we say by columns. Columns go, think about holding up a house, columns go this way. So whenever we discuss a matrix, we are going to discuss it in rows by columns. And I always tell kids, because they can remember it, RC, think of remote control. So if I was to explain this first matrix that you see right here, it has 1, 2, 3 rows, because those are what's going across. 1, 2, 3 rows, and 2 columns. So this one right here would be a 3 by 2 matrix. The next one that we see has 2 rows, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3 columns. So it's the other way. This one's a 2 by 3 matrix. And the next one that we have has 1, 2 rows by 1 column. So this will be a 2 by 1 matrix. All right, so let's look at this first matrix in example 1. Example 1, this matrix, the first thing we want to do is name the dimensions. So if you're looking at this, how many rows does this matrix have? I'm going to let you look at it and you figure that out. 1, 2, 3 rows. So we know this is a 3 by, and let's go down. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 3 by 4 matrix. The next question says, in which row and which column is the element 7? So we're looking at this element 7. So I know that is in the second row and the third column. So we actually wouldn't write it like that, so let me erase this. We would write that this is in the second row, third column. All right, so how are you feeling on that stuff? Pretty good probably so far, huh? So let's take a look at example 2. Example 2 says, if W, x plus y, x minus y, z, is equal to 3, 4, 5, and 6, find each variable. Well, if I look at row 1, column 1, and row 1, column 1, we know, since there's an equal sign in the middle, we know that these two will be equal. That's pretty easy. I know that W is equal to 3. But we've got a problem when we look at row 1, column 2. Because I know that x plus y is going to equal 4, and for row 2, column 1, I know x minus y is going to equal 5. So I've got a little solving to do. Before we do that, let's look at the last one that's really easy to figure out. We do know that z is equal to 6. Well, there is no W or Z in this, but we do know how to solve using systems of equations. So when I add down, notice that 2x is equal to 9. So x will equal 9 halves, or we could say 4.5, however you want to answer that. I will take either answer. And if I plug that back in, I'm going to plug it into here at the top. I'll plug it in a different color. 4.5 plus what gives me 4. So you've already probably solved that y is going to equal negative 0.5 or negative 1/2. So a little bit trickier, but because we know the information on systems of equations, we can set up a systems of equations and figure them out. All right, that's about all we're going to do for the terminology. The really important part of this terminology that we need to know are these rows by columns. So make sure you know how to talk that and express that with your language skills, because we will be talking rows by columns, RC. All right, good job.